Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve the last three triples on the FTO, also known as L3T. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to teach you guys is how to get all three of these triples solved, and I'm going to be going pretty in depth. So the main portion of this video is going to be teaching you guys how to get these triples solved in the easiest and most efficient way possible, going through this kind of step-by-step process that I put together and how you'll be able to do it every time and be able to do it in a really easy way. Then I'm going to show you guys the easiest way to get them all in the correct spot like this. And then I'm going to show you guys what algorithms I use to finish off the rest of the cube like this. And then those algorithms will then solve the cube. Now, before we get into it, I just wanted to throw out a quick disclaimer. This is a beginner tutorial, and these are methods and approaches that I personally found work best. There may be more advanced or efficient ways to do this, but for beginners, this is what I recommend starting with and what I found out works the best. So I'm going to be showing you guys examples and things that I found out through my own trial and error and what helped me learn how to do this in the best and most efficient way possible for a beginner. I'm also going to assume that you already have a basic understanding of the FTO and know how to get it to this point in the solve. If you are completely new to FTO and have no idea where to start, I will link my full beginner tutorial in the description. Go watch that first. So now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so I'm going to quickly go over the flipping algorithms since I assume you guys already know them, but there are two flipping algorithms that you guys can choose from. There is a hedge and a sledge. And what they do is they flip this triple, and keep this one the same. So the hedge looks like this, up, up, down, down, and then the sledge looks like this, down, down, up, up, just like that. So that's the sledge and the hedge. And now what these do is it flips this triple, and keeps this one the same. And then also a hedge will take the pieces in a counterclockwise direction, and a sledge will move them in a clockwise direction. Now, that's not really that important, but it's kind of nice to know sometimes. So, for example, let's just do a hedge here. So this one's going to flip, this one's going to flip, this one's going to stay the same. And since we're doing a hedge, it's going to move counterclockwise. So the one that stays the same is going to end up right here. So this red pair is going to end up here. This purple pair is going to end up down here flipped. And then this triple is also going to flip. So let's just see. So this blue triangle and yellow corner piece are going to end up over here flipped. So let's do the hedge. And as we can see, that red pair is here now. This purple pair flipped from here to here. And this blue triangle and yellow corner piece are flipped over here. As you can see, it moved in that counterclockwise direction. And it flipped these two triples and kept the one that was here the same. So same thing with the sledge. So if we do the sledge, this one's going to flip, this one's going to flip, this one's going to stay the same, so this blue corner is going to stay on top, and it's going to rotate clockwise. So this red pair should be here, and this blue corner and yellow triangle should be here. So if we do the sledge, bang, this red pair flipped from the top down here, this blue triangle is still on top because it was right here, and it stayed the same. So those are how those two flipping algorithms work. So now we're going to get to how do we actually pair up these triples. Well, it is a really straightforward and simple process. Step one is first getting a non-yellow pair. So what I mean is pairing up one of these corner pieces with a triangle piece and just making sure it's not yellow. Once we get that pair, we're going to flip it to the top. So the first thing is we can look around here. So we have a red corner, and let's just see if there's any triangles we can match it up with. No. And as you can see in this case with the red triangle that it would want to match up with is right here on top of it, and it's in the same triple. So for now, that's kind of an annoying case, so let's just move on to a different one. Let's just see, maybe we can match up this blue corner with its blue triangle. So if we look around, there it is in the bottom layer here. So if we want to match up this blue corner with this blue triangle, what we're going to have to do is flip this corner and keep this blue triangle in the bottom layer so we can pair it up. So we're going to put this blue triangle in the back left here where it's not going to flip, and we're going to put this blue corner piece in one of the two flipping spots. So now we can flip this with a hedge, and as we can see, this blue corner moved down, so now it's facing the bottom layer, and we can churn it. There's the blue triangle, it stayed in the same spot, and now we made a non-yellow pair. So now that we made this non-yellow pair, we can flip this to the top. So putting it in one of the two flipping positions here, do a hedge, and there we go. Step 1 completed. We created our first non-yellow pair. So now the second step is just creating one more of those. So if we look around here, here's a red one, and if we move it around, bang, we already found a match. So here what we can do is we want to just preserve this blue pair here, flip this one to the top, so we just keep this blue one on the left here where it's going to stay safe, and then put this red one in a flipping spot, boom, and now we have two non-yellow pairs on the top layer, just like that. Now let's just say we solved our first pair here, and now we're looking around here, purple, we move it around, no purples around, right? We kind of just have a difficult spot here. Red, the red one's down here. We need to flip something to get this second pair lined up. So what we can do in this case is we just need to make sure we preserve the one we already made while also solving another one. So let's just say we start with purple here. Let's think, how would we solve purple here? So this purple corner here is in the bottom. So what we would want to do for purple is flip this triangle to the bottom here. So, but there's a problem with this one. If we put this purple corner here in the spot where it's going to stay safe and we want to flip this triangle, we're also going to flip this blue pair here, and we don't want that. So in this case, since it's not really possible without wrecking this pair to flip these in a way to solve them, we'll just move on to another one. So let's just do red here. So we have red triangle is in the bottom layer here, and the red corner is on the top here. So what we need to do is keep this red triangle safe and flip this red corner. So the way we can do this is by putting the blue pair we already have made over the red triangle. So now we're preserving this blue pair as well as the red triangle, and then we can have this one in one of the flipping spots to flip this corner so it can then match up with the triangle. So if we do a hedge here, as you can see, we preserve this, and then we have our red corner here. We can then move and pair up here like that. Now we can preserve this one like we did earlier and flip this pair to the top. Now there you go. We now have two non-yellow pairs in the top just like that. Now what I just showed you is really all you're going to encounter in that first step in getting two non-yellow pairs on the top. It may even seem a little tricky at first on how this works, but if you follow this process of just getting two non-yellow pairs on the top, it should be relatively easy. So now the next step, once you get two non-yellow pairs on the top, you'll either be able to solve all the triples, or you'll have something like this, which is a corner flip case. So a lot of the times what happens is when you have this non-yellow pair here, you finally made your second one and you flip it to the top here. Now I have two of them. What will most commonly happen is you'll be able to then align this last corner piece with its triangle here, and then you'll be able to create all three triples. So once you solve the two pairs, you'll either be able to align it just like that, creating all three of the triples here, or you'll end up with that corner flip case like you just saw. And I'll go over how to do that and all the different scenarios you can get into with that. But just so you guys know, we kind of got an unlucky case back there, but normally you'll be able to just solve all three of the triples just like this by aligning them once you solve the two pairs on the top, unless you get unlucky and get that corner flip case. All right, back to where we were. So we have our two non-yellow pairs on the top, but we have this corner flipped case, which literally looks like we could just twist this corner twice and it would solve the triple. So what you want to do is put it in the back right here. But in this case, if we have these two triples solved and this one is flipped, what we need to do is we need to get one of these yellow pairs to the top here. Because as you can see, there are no yellow pairs in the top. And for what I'm about to show you, to fix this corner flipped case, we need to make sure a yellow pair is on the top. So all we're going to do here is just a sledge. And as you can see, we flipped one of the pairs down. So now there's yellow pair on the top and one non-yellow pair here. So what you're going to want to do is have that yellow pair in the front here and have that flipped edge case in the back right. So now to solve this flipped edge case, making sure you have at least one yellow pair and one non-yellow pair in the top like this, you're going to do this. You're going to move the bottom layer over to the right. Then you're going to do a hedge. And then you can do a U prime here. As you can see, these two purples need to be flipped. So now you're going to do a hedge to the other way. Boom. And now, if you look at the cube, you should be able to line up these pieces to now create 3 triples just like that. Now, let's just say we get a case where we have 2 solved triples like this, and now we have this one flipped, right? Just like before. But the only difference is, right, we have 1 non-yellow pair, 1 yellow pair, except in this case, when we have the flipped edge case on the back right here, this yellow pair is not in the front. It's over here on the left, which if we try to do this case here, as you can see, once we get to this spot, there's no 2 things to flip here. So in this case, when the yellow pair is not in the front here and this flipped edge, this flipped corner is in the right here, we just need to do a lefty hedge. And then you'll then be able to rotate this yellow pair to the front here. You got this flipped corner in the back right. And then right, we have 1 non-yellow pair, 1 yellow pair, and then we can proceed with the flipped corner case just like that. And then we'll be able to match it all up, solving all 3 of the triples. And now if you get this flipped corner case, but you have 2 yellow pairs on the top, all you need to do is put the flipped corner in the front here, do a hedge, and then you'll have it so that flipped corner is in the back right with 1 yellow pair on top, 1 non-yellow pair over here, and you'll be able to solve the case like I showed earlier. Now, just to give you another example of why we need that 1 yellow pair on the top and 1 non-yellow pair is because like this, if we solved our 2 pairs here and got the flipped edge case and tried to solve it the way I showed, right, doing this, as you can see, there's nothing that we can flip here. So if we try, bang, and now we're like, okay, well, now this needs to pair up with this and it's all messed up. You're not able to just solve it like so. That is the reason you need to get that 1 yellow pair on the top and 1 non-yellow pair before you do the flipped corner case I showed you. Now, just one more time, to solve this flipped corner case, you need 1 yellow pair on top, 1 non-yellow pair on the top as well. Put this flipped corner case in the back right and do these moves here, just like I showed earlier. And then you'll then be able to line it all up and solve these 3 triples. So I hope that kind of step-by-step process, and I hope I went through enough to show you guys how to do it. And I hope I gave you guys every kind of case and scenario you could come across to be able to solve these last 3 triples as easily as possible without getting confused. So now in this next step where we have to get these triples all oriented so yellow's on the top. So there are basically 3 cases you can get. So the first one here is when we have this yellow pair on the top. We're going to put this yellow pair on the left side here, and we're going to be looking at these 2. And now what I notice here is this is the yellow and red pair, and this one is the yellow and blue. As you can see, this yellow and red pair needs to come here. So in this case, what you're going to do is you're just going to do a sledge to bring this piece to where it needs to go. Down, down, up, up. And that'll solve everything. All right, and now, as you can see, you'll get this one where you have this one paired up, obviously. This yellow pair up here, we're going to obviously put it on the left side. And as you can see, we have this yellow and purple one, and we have this yellow and blue one. And as you can see, this yellow and purple one needs to come up here now. This one does not need to come down here. So in this case, when this triple needs to go up here, you just do a hedge, and that'll solve the top. Now you may get a case where you're like, well, this flip will, and now you may get a case where you'll see that this triple is literally just flipped in its spot here. Same with this one. As you can see, this one is completely solved. So this is the only 2 flip case. So if you get this, you're going to put the solved one in the front like this, and then you're going to do a hedge and a sledge. And that'll solve the top. So those are the 3 cases you'll run into solving this top layer. Now the only thing left is how to get this U-perm looking thing solved. And now most of you probably already have these written down somewhere if you've looked up a tutorial before. But I'll just show you the ones that I use. So what we do is we match up these centers again here like this, and we're going to be moving these corners around. So there's a clockwise and a counterclockwise rotation to these. So as you can see, these orange ones need to come down here, these gray ones need to go over here, these green ones need to go up here. So that's a counterclockwise rotation. So what I do for the counterclockwise rotation is I hold the cube like this. So yellow is kind of in the back right here. This is my F face, this is my U face, this is my D face. And so now I have yellow in kind of the back right here. I go F, D prime, F, U, F prime, D, F, U prime, F. And that solves that case. Now, as you can see, if the corners need to come in a counterclockwise rotation, right? These green ones need to come up here, these gray ones need to go over there, etc. So if we get this counterclockwise rotation, what I do is literally the opposite. I do F prime, U, F prime, D prime, F, U prime, F prime, D, F prime. And that solves the top. And that's it. That is how I solve the last 3 triples and solve the cube. Once you get the hang of it and the cases, it becomes pretty easy and intuitive, and you will start to recognize it faster and everything faster, and it'll get faster every time. And one other thing, the way you'll really learn how to do this is by just practicing it and getting used to the cube, and just get familiar with the cube and how it works, and it'll slowly become easier the more you mess around with it. And if you have any questions at all, drop it in the comments. I will do my best to help you out. If you have not already, check out my full FTO beginner tutorial linked in the description. It covers everything from scratch if you do need to learn how to solve this thing. And if you need to get yourself your own FTO, make sure to use code JACKED at thecubicle.com. Grab yourself an FTO. And that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, lost souls, they looking for a leader, that's why I'm still reading. Posted on they block with 7 shots, we taking demons out. Ice on